Welcome to a special report from Turtle Wow News with Vrograg. I'm still in winter spring because once I woke up there was nearly twice the amount of news to report on as yesterday, and I haven't even had time to change venue. I'm the Orc, and here's the news. The last time we spoke, the Turtle Wow team had not published their changelog for this week's server reset, but less than 4 hours after that broadcast was complete, it was finally released. So I'm here with a special report to quickly go over the various changes and discuss the community post made by Torta. After that, we will have a special announcement by yours truly about the direction of this news station. But first, the news. We start with the changelog, which, as yours truly predicted last broadcast, wasn't anything too crazy, but nevertheless has some items that the fine denizens of Azeroth may find useful. People questing together around the world breathed a sigh of relief to see that more single-use quest items will respawn in 5 seconds when one person uses or collects the interactable object. Few things are quite as annoying as having to break immersion when 2 people on the same quest have to awkwardly stand around for 5 minutes to wait for a duplicate quest item to drop. Great quality of life improvement. A few weeks ago, there was a complaint raised about how spells and attacks interacted in PvP scenarios. Initially, spells and melee attacks, when used by someone 11 or more levels lower, were essentially at 100% chance to be resisted or flat out missed. This gave low-level players no recourse when being attacked in PvP against higher-level combatants. Even if a bunch of them gathered up to ward off the would-be ganker, their efforts would be for naught. With this injustice in mind, last week the team adjusted the miss chance cap and the spell resist cap to be fixed at 10 levels. This would allow some counterplay from lower level players and actually give them a chance to fight back. However, GitHub user Nemus rose an alarm that the change had an unexpected side effect. Now, PvE mobs could start hitting higher level characters more easily. Since the change was aimed at allowing PvP players more options, and not to make massive packs of low-level enemies deadly again to level 60s, this week's changelog included a fix to exclude PvE monsters from the updated spell and melee tables. Rest easy, AoE farmers. I know it's been a rough week for all of you. Some balance changes came out too, and this one is a big win for the server's fine healers. The Death Chill Servant and the Swarm Guard Needler. Both monstrous creatures are part of raids. The Prior, a summoned minion in the Death Knight Quarter in Naxxramas, and the latter, a flying insect humanoid hybrid from the battle event in the Ruins of Anchorage. As someone who has participated in content with both of these creatures, it was well known that they would do way more damage than what many were accustomed to from Classic and even Vanilla. It seems that the devs agreed that the 2 monsters were a little too overtuned, even for raiders, to handle without grave consequences, and thusly were hit with the nerf bat. Healers will no doubt rejoice, since the event encounter in the AQ20 is notoriously difficult on this server, due in large part to the Swarm Guard Needlers doing massive burst damage with their cleaves, which means mana spent during a combat that lasts 5 to 10 minutes can be kept on their bar. Likewise, the Death Chill Servants are summoned monsters from Death Knights in Naxxramas, and summoned minions on this server don't respect the summoner's aggro table, so it would often be the squishy healers who would get one shot if a taunt was resisted or an off-tank wasn't quick enough, since healing gives global aggro. The last noteworthy changelog entry is about Warlock minion stats. While the wonderful world of Warlock minion stats is to most an obscure and downright strange thing to fuss about, it should be noted that in our last news broadcast, we did show that in the community poll about class problems, a plurality of warlocks wanted their demon friends to be more useful. Now, to look into this one, I had to go digging. In a post made by Nawakland, all the way back on August 28th of 2022. This user outlined some serious problems with how the Warlock pets were statted. To be frank, the GitHub post was very thorough, and I'd encourage any Warlocks to have a look. The basic summary was that when the post was made, Imps had way too much health, the Voidwalker dealt way too much damage, and the Succubus does the same or less damage than the Voidwalker. This is counterintuitive to the design of the Infernal pets. Imps were designed to be fragile and like casters. The Voidwalker was meant to do less damage but make up for it with the ability to hold threat and take damage. But instead, he nearly did twice the amount of damage he was supposed to. And the Succubus, who is meant to be a controller and a big damage dealer, couldn't compete with the Voidwalker unless heavily talented into. Even though the initial GitHub post was quite old, the most recent activity shows a very active developer named Raxorb, I guess, as having closed the issue as recently as last week. So that is the best evidence we have that this initial issue has finally been dealt with. It would seem that the Turtle WoW team is already laying the groundwork to make some changes. Warlocks of Azeroth, go take your pets out for a spin, and let the community here and elsewhere know what you think of your newly adjusted minions. It should be noted as well, at the very bottom of the changelog, that there was some mention that some of these changes have not yet quite been implemented. So, please, if you don't notice the change already on there, and it's not already working, keep in mind that some of them still haven't been fully implemented. That does it for the major changes coming through the changelog. Let's move on to what's next. The Turtle WoW team is ratcheting up the hype for the forthcoming 1.16.6 patch, and the latest salvo was launched alongside the posted changelog. Torta announced that there will be a new town in the beautiful lands of Dunmoreau, likely as an additional place for gnomes to call home. Since she also announced a new location known as the Gnome Reclamation Facility, which is interestingly enough also listed as a transport hub, it will be interesting to see how this all gets fleshed out. Does this mean there will be an additional line for the Deep Run tram? Who knows? Look for yourself and see what you might glean from the video posted. I'll try to link to the video in this broadcast description, if the Gnomish broadcasting company named YouTube allows me to finally put links in the description, but I digress. In addition to some of the new places planned for 1.16.6, the new rare enemies have also been named and planned as well. Though exact details on those are not very clear as of yet, what we do have is a list of names and zones they will appear in. Most noteworthy are multiple monsters already being named for the yet unreleased Hyjal area, one named Barkskin Fisher, even having a curious Fisher tag on it, meaning adventurers might need to fish the beast up. Also of note is that a good deal of these new custom rare monsters are going to populate the custom island areas of Lapidus, Gilligim, and Telebim. That should be a nice touch to those zones to encourage many more to explore and have real adventures on these lesser known places. Small editor note, I literally got this information as I was writing the script. If you would, imagine Vrograg having an intern rush over and hands over a piece of paper. This just in. I have confirmation that there will be changes coming to the hardcore community as part of the 1.16.6 patch. I received this news directly from Discord messages with the Turtle WoW community manager, Acknowledgement. He confirms that there will be forthcoming changes to the hardcore community. The existence of these changes are being reported here first. He classified the changes as welcome quality of life improvements, including reducing the necessity of being in the Still Alive Guild. When pressed for more specifics, the only other thing Acknowledgement could confirm to me was that these changes will not include a separate realm for hardcore. Wow, what a news day. Alright, let's all move on to the Kodo in the newsroom. I report on the news, And today, this lucky orc was the news. I was personally thanked and praised for my journalistic efforts here on the server by the very queen of Turtle WoW herself, Torta. The support and advice I have received over the last month or so has been overwhelming personally. I am touched and honored that many of you use me to get news about this wonderful server and its community. My most heartfelt and sincere thanks goes to all the people that watch this program and continue to support it. Even though this is a time of great celebration and fanfare for the news channel, I think it's important for me to talk about something related to that if I'm going to continue to be your news anchor orc. And that's about being a citizen journalist. I don't really want to break the fourth wall that much. I like RPing as much as anyone else on this server. But I recognize that through this announcement, I have a responsibility to communicate to everyone who watches this program what my job is and how I will go about it. I stand on the principles of ethics, honesty, and integrity. I don't report on something unless I have sources. If I make an error in my reporting, it is my duty to correct them and announce those. I will never take gifts, turtle coins, gold, or any other remuneration from server officials or players on this server. I don't want to be seen as getting paid by the people I also need to watch out and report on. In general, my dealings as a player and reporter have all been above board with the Turtle WoW team, and all players who have contacted me privately. I commend the team for understanding my desire to remain independent, as well as those individuals who have reached out to me and who are not part of the team. The private server community at large does have a checkered past though, and I will call out any corruption I observe. You can trust that I will be your watchdog. I will never just be a mouthpiece for influential people, because the only thing more valuable than knowledge is trust. I want you, dear viewer, to trust what I say, and know that it has been properly vetted. I try not to inject my opinion too much into what I report on. I just want to give you the news. Though this program has the title Turtle WoW News, I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the officials that run this server. That being said, it is ethically important that I do mention that some of the developers and GMs have reached out to me and are offering to give me access in order to give you, dear viewers, better news and quicker scoops on all the juiciest topics. But do know, I will never trade my ethics and values as a journalist in order to get that access. I am pretty much like all of you, but with a passion for telling stories, learning, and teaching through my experiences. Plus, the time to make and edit videos for all of you to enjoy. And that is the essence of a citizen journalist. Am I taking my RP too far? Probably not. This is just something that's very important to me. Thank you for indulging me and giving me the chance to talk about this topic. It means a lot to me that you're watching, you're engaged, and willing to participate in this lovely community. If you'd like to help me in my endeavors as the orc with the news, then please subscribe to the channel. Share the work I do with your guildmates and party members. Just a quick out of character thing here. Give me some idea on how to give away an undisclosed amount, for now, amount of turtle coins in the comment section. I don't want them. If you listen to the whole spiel about ethics and journalism, I think you'd understand why. But I'd like to pass them on to you in appreciation. I don't know how this all works. I'm new to all this. Anyway, as always, I can be reached in-game through whispers if you see me on, or through in-game mail. Of course, you can leave a comment in the section below. Although I have about 1,000 ideas for programs for this news channel, if you have any tips or leads that need a hard-hitting reporter to look into it, then I'm the orc for you. Know that all my communications can be private at your request, and I love hearing ideas for stories. Sorry this special report was more rushed than my normal videos, but the news doesn't sleep, and if my video editing software keeps crashing, I might not either. Thank you all for watching, and remember, knowledge is the deadliest weapon.